much money, and my young son is spending all of our money on dates. Okay, not dates with girls. I mean, dates, you know, like sugar. Because he couldn't control his sweet tooth. He was addicted to the sugar, the dates. So when she begged Muhammad to speak to the boy, he told her to bring the boy to him in 35 days. And so she left a little bit confused, but she said okay. And on the appointed day, 5 weeks later, the boy came in, his mother brought him, and the prophet spoke to him kindly but firmly about being responsible and self-disciplined and respecting his mother, and the boy went away, agreeing to change his ways. So later on, when Muhammad's followers asked him why he insisted upon waiting 35 days before he talked to the boy, he said, I like dates too. I like dates too. So I didn't think it was fair to ask the boy to give him up unless I gave him up myself for 5 weeks. Okay? In other words, if he couldn't demonstrate control over himself, he knew that he had no right to ask someone else to exert control over themselves. Now, it's a cute story, actually very profound, one of those nice spiritual stories that shows the simple wisdom of a great teacher. But the point I want to make this morning is that we need to understand from a spiritual perspective how this control thing actually works. Because if you think about it, the whole concept of control automatically separates things into 2 parts. There's the one doing the controlling, and there's the person or the thing being controlled. Right? That's the 2 parts when you're dealing with. Now that doesn't sound like a big deal when we're dealing with other people. It's all pretty clear cut. Until we apply it to religion and we throw in the idea of a supreme being as one side of the equation, as the controlling part, and that seems to tilt things very strongly in one direction. So at that point, it becomes very important how we view this higher power, because if we think about God, spirit, whatever, which is what we're talking about here, as a being who is separate from us, up there someplace, as a controlling power with its own agenda and its own set of rules and its own secrets and its own way of doing things, and if we see ourselves as nothing more than pawns who get moved around and done unto, as they say in the Bible, according to this higher power's prevailing mood for the day, then we can't help but see ourselves at the receiving end of most of the control that exists in the universe. So that would have to mean, logically, that we have no say in our own life and that God is making all the decisions and is in complete control, and all we can hope for is to not do anything that gets him mad or gets us in trouble. That's the kind of relationship that most of the world has with God or with their higher power. But in the Science of Mind textbook, written by Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of this teaching, The Science of Mind, for those here who are new, Dr. Holmes confronts this perspective directly and head-on, very early on in the book, when he makes a fairly radical, for the time, statement referring to God: there is a power for good in the universe, and we can use it.